Now at 6, several towns and cities are reporting sightings of U.S. national immigration enforcement officers amid a national immigration crackdown. I'm Angelo Bavaro, live in East Haven this morning with the details on some of those incidents and the response from community leaders.
A normally quiet neighborhood has been rocked by violence. I'm Jamel Johnson, and coming up on Fox 61, neighbors are reacting to what police are calling a deadly case of domestic violence.
Speed cameras are making their way across Connecticut. I'm Kate Pattyfoot in Middletown, where the community will hear more details about these cameras.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
6 o'clock on this Tuesday. Good morning, sunshine. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus. I'm Symphony Privet.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Good morning to you here at 6 o'clock. If you step out the door, you might notice, well, again, not saying it's warm, but certainly a lot warmer as we get over to meteorologist Matt Scott. I did. It was noticeable to me.
But it's also noticeable the winds are a little bit up.
Yeah.
And so yes, when it's still, it's fine, but when it hits you, there's an edge out there. And speaking of edge, we're right on the edge of a little bit of snow that's going to be coming through over the next couple of hours, as a matter of fact, before the road warriors are done getting to work in school. And then there's more that arrive tonight in the 7-day. We're going to check out the potential for even more for the weekend. All of a sudden, a little active with the snow. Let's talk about it. Satellite radar pictures quiet all night long, and so the temperatures did drop fairly mild out there. A few clouds. Right now, we're watching a line of snow that's just on the edge over the Berkshires, not quite into the state just yet. But some of this snow, whereas it's not a long-lasting event, you see the boxes here, those are snow squall advisories. So yeah, there is a potential that the visibility is going to go from fine to not fine really quickly. So we're going to watch for that. Numbers in the 30s. You're right, Tim. It is mild. 36 in Hartford, 38 in New Haven, 36 in Groton. There is a bite to the wind, though, about 10 to 15 for many. So it does drop it down to the lower to mid-20s. But again, compared to what we've seen of late, that's manageable as well. So a little snow coming in this morning. That won't last. And then by the time the afternoon ride gets in, we'll be back to sunny skies and fairly seasonal temperatures, which will change also over the next couple of days. We'll talk about that coming up. 6:02, get ready. I think this morning, Rachel, you're going to want to hear everything that Rachel has to say, because once that line of snow kind of comes in, I think it's going to grind a lot of you to a halt quickly. So we'll have to wait and see.
We'll be watching, Matt. We'll be watching. Right now, we are following multiple issues on the roads, mainly western side of the state this morning. Avon dealing with a closure this morning on Route 177. This is due to a crash that occurred overnight. Both directions of that going to remain closed at this hour, so give yourself some extra time. You will need to seek an alternative route. We also have this crash over in Danbury this morning, westbound 84 out by exit 7 and 6. Live look outside showing you the sheer volume that's out there now, as well as the congestion, so give yourself some extra time. We also have this crash. This is on the shoulder over in Waterbury out by exit 25 on the eastbound side of 84. Volume is light in the area, though, so it's not causing too much of an issue this morning like it is in Danbury. Tim and Symphony, good morning.
Good morning to you. Now, several towns and cities in Connecticut are reporting the presence of U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, or ICE agents, in their communities.
Yeah, it comes amid the start of the Trump administration's immigration enforcement crackdown. However, we have no information this morning linking those incidents here in Connecticut to that national operation.
So let's get out to Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro. He's live in East Hartford with more on what we do know. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. And this is where East Hartford Mayor Connor Martin says he did observe ICE agents entering a home over the weekend. Now, we have reached out to the police department to get any more information about specifically what happened, what caused that. That is all the information we got from the mayor's office. The police department, a public information officer for the department, tells us that the local PD was not involved and that ICE operates under its own federal authority. But the mayor did release a statement about this. I want to read some of that. He addressed this to the community, some of that reading, quote, "I have seen and felt the fear and panic throughout our community, the second most diverse town in Connecticut. This rampant anxiety is disruptive, and that's incredibly concerning. We acknowledge what we can and cannot do within the state of Connecticut's Trust Act and information sharing is not an obstruction of justice. Now, these reports, as you mentioned, come amid the start of ramped-up immigration enforcement by the Trump administration, with federal agencies touting arrests around the country. We are seeing several reports on social media about other ICE sightings in Connecticut. We are still working to confirm if those reports are real. But in response to all this, some towns and city school districts and advocates are reminding undocumented people to know their rights if they are encountered by ICE. Some reminders here from the American Civil Liberties Union. If ICE approaches you or your home, you have the right to remain silent and refuse to sign anything without speaking to a lawyer. And also, ICE cannot enter your home without a valid warrant signed by a judge. Always ask to see that warrant. Now, another town that has confirmed ICE presence within it, that would be Windham. We have reached out to that town as well, but they did post a statement. Not many details in that case either, but the town manager's office did say there is no immediate cause for concern. We'll break down what we do know in that town coming up in the next hour. We are live in East Hartford this morning. I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61.
Angela, thank you. In New Britain, police said they are still looking for the person who shot 2 women. One of them died. Police identified her as 30-year-old Brianna Ray. The other woman, they said, is in critical condition. An officer said everybody involved knew each other. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson has a report from New Britain.
Gunshots ring out here on 57 Prospect Street in New Britain after a domestic violence dispute turned deadly, costing one woman her life and leaving the other fighting for hers in the hospital. A tragic start to the week for one New Britain neighborhood. A few hours into Monday morning, people heard gunshots coming from this home on Prospect Street. 2 victims were found by first responders with gunshot wounds. One woman was pronounced dead on scene, and the other was transported to a nearby hospital. It comes as a shock to neighbors like Roberto Cage, who says this kind of violence is not normal where he lives. Roberto, along with his mother, have been living in this house for 22 years, and even when they heard police outside, they never would have imagined a homicide.
Caught me off guard. I mean, this street was pretty quiet. I never heard anything like this at all. That's why, same thing last night. I didn't hear anything go down because of how quiet it is. All I seen was police out here. I noticed the lights, just flashing everywhere. Parts right near my car. I'm thinking, what's going on here? Maybe some sort of temporary roadblock. They were here for about maybe an hour to hour and a half, and then they just left. I really didn't think much of it. Most of the time I see ambulance come over here because, of a sick person, nothing like that.
Now, New Britain police has not named the person they are looking for, and they say they are still at large. So if you or anyone you know has any information that could help their investigation, please reach out to New Britain Police at 860-826-3131. In New Britain, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
City officials in Middletown came out last night to discuss the need for speed cameras. There's a proposal to install the devices at busy streets. Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot spoke with people in Middletown about these possible changes.
If you have a lead foot while driving, you'll want to start slowing down. Middletown is the latest to discuss adding speed cameras around the city, and many people who came out to Monday night's Public Safety Committee meeting think that these cameras will actually help drivers slow down.
It's just crazy out there, and most everywhere we drive is crazy. We all know that, and we need the traffic controls.
It's something that seems to be a reoccurring theme lately, speeding in Connecticut.
As a West Street resident, I regularly see people traveling 10, 15, 20, 30 miles per hour above the speed limit on my street.
I always make a joke that if we had $1 for every car I saw go through a light, the city of Middletown wouldn't have to have a budget.
Middletown's Public Safety Committee held a meeting Monday night to discuss installing speed cameras in town.
Speed cameras will help control speeds, especially as drivers approach the S-curves in residential areas prior to the school. The 4th location and the final is Route 66 in Washington Street.
Safety concerns were brought up at Monday's meeting.
And we also have a small number who are walking, and we're walking on typically Saybrook Road, which does not have sidewalks most of the way up towards the college, and it's actually pretty dangerous. And there's a lot of people who are driving very quickly.
Officials hope to enforce the rules of the road with these cameras. They say the first offense for drivers is a written warning. The second is a $50 fine, and the third offense is a $75 fine, including an additional $15 fee when paying.
I hope it will encourage them to drive safely, and if not, they might get a ticket, and I think that's where people change their behavior. A warning or, oh, maybe we'll give you a ticket, it doesn't cut it. If it hits you in the pocketbook, you're probably going to say, I better slow down.
As of now, Route 66, Washington Street, South Main Street, and the Moody School Zone are where these speed cameras will go. Officials say because that's where a lot of the high traffic is. In Middletown, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Okay, thank you. A wrong-way driver crashed on the southbound side of Route 8 in Litchfield. State police said it happened just before 7:15 last night near exit 44. Now, they didn't say what the car hit, but they did say more than one wrecker was called to the scene, so it may have very well been another car. They also said multiple people were hurt, but didn't say how many. But they did say everyone is expected to survive.
The man charged in connection with a deadly boat crash at Old Saybrook on Labor Day last year is due in courts today. The arrest warrant for Clayton Hackling, who's from Lyme, shows he's charged with manslaughter in the deaths of 3 people. He turned himself in last week. The Connecticut Department Environmental Protection's Police Division says he was driving the boat when it crashed. The warrant also shows Hacking had a blood alcohol content level between 0.17 and 0.19%.